So I just did a part one of Do No Harm, and I'm being told to do a part two, like turn around and do it right now. So here I am. So the Do No Harm thing, let's talk about energy being air. Let's talk about the energetic magnetic waves that are in the air that are unseen, but they're there. They're there. And how much we pick up on different things. Like, why did I just think of that? Why did that just happen? And sometimes it's a good thing because someone else is thinking about you and it's a good thought. And you get on the phone, you're like, hey, I was just thinking about you. I was just thinking about you. So it's not all bad. All right. But when you compile this with all these invisible telephone conjunctures all over the place, trying to talk to each other, we're forgetting all the trash that we're letting out there from ourselves that we can't deal with or didn't think was important. And so we're all throwing it out there and it's all collected in the airwaves, and that's a fact. So I'm going to speak to the do no harm part. So I stopped watching the news back in the 90s because it had a tremendous effect on my persons. If I heard about a murder or a death or a child or something, I would feel it very deeply, and I would carry that. Even if I was smiling, I was carrying that pain body. And so a very dear and wonderful astrologer, Dale O'Brien, he is awesome. He's in Eugene, Oregon. When I get his link, I'll put it in one of my channels. But I started conversing with him in 1993. And by, I think, 94, 95, something like that, he said to me, stop watching the news. It's affecting you deeply. And so now I come from a family that, you need to watch the news, you need to read the newspaper, you need to have up on current affairs so that when you get together with people, you have things to talk about. Now, this was back in the 90s, right? So I was riding the metro for an hour to get to work. So I'd be reading the paper, right? And then I worked in an OBGYN office. So then I had to go in and care for all these people who were going through hormonal stuff from ages 14 to 105. So I was needing to give to them my undivided attention all day. And if I was reading one of these articles in the morning, it would carry me. It would carry with me. And sometimes it would build up and affect me where if I would go to the bathroom, I would feel teary-eyed, or I didn't know how I was carrying it in my body if something irritated me. And occasionally other people would notice it, like, what is going on with you? Oh my God, I read the same article. And then we'd all be in the lunchroom going, or. So this is what I mean by learning to play with the energies and how things affect each other. So I really had to double down in some of these situations on my own energetics. So let's talk about fast forwarding to what's going on now when we've had lockdowns and so many things where people are tuning in to every which direction, and then you have more and more and more people out there contributing to their thoughts on their frequencies that are picking up on all these different frequencies. It's enough to make you want to shut down if you were really to see it, in Technicolor. So just like the plastic is building up in the oceans and people are seeing decades of plastic building up in our oceans, and it's already in critical acute mass. And now it's like, oh my gosh, we need to go back and undo all of this, but we need to clean up what we've created. This is what's going on in our energetic airways, people. We've had very, very long time of some sincere, serious, chronic, overly acute. We need to slow the roll and fix the problem one person at a time with this energy situation, because it's only you and the me in these moments that can stop these insane waves and tsunamis of intensity. So, for example, when we're listening to all of this, solar flash, or all of this, this is coming, the shift, the great shift, this, that. You're always looking for incoming, but you're placing all of this energy somewhere in the physical, energetic body, and you're carrying it around with you. You're carrying it around with you. So it's not just you coming through the doorway, it's all of everything that you've collected in that day and decades before. But let's not get too inundated about the decades before. Let's talk about the now. So when you're walking through a threshold, whatever that threshold is, entering or exiting a place, you have to work with cleaning your energies so that you're not carrying that around. So it could be a thought of something that is saddening. And so going into that thought and working through the sadness of it, maybe your body needs to release tears. Maybe your body needs to contort and wring out what it just held on to, because it triggers maybe something from yesterday, the day before, a year before, 10 years before, childhood, lifetime before that, okay? So all those things are accumulating at warped speed on all these people. And if there's 84 billion people here on Earth and we have no idea what's circling Earth, right? Good God Almighty, we are and so then we're not at all in touch with our authentic self, our self, because we're not doing our self-cleaning and pushing our self-cleaning buttons so that we can get off all the debris every day. So just starting with the day, because if you start with anything else, it'd be a little insane. Okay? It's why I do what I do. It's why I do regression work, because I help people get in there and get all that stuff out so that every day they become stronger and more clean in their own energy. Okay? And it's the do no harm. It's the do no harm to others because of our inability to process what's happening to us. And it's difficult to do that when you have every interference, intentional and unintentional, occurring to you, banging up against you, knocking you over, and all you're trying to do is get up, pay your bills, and do the mundane type of things. And it's becoming more and more difficult, and it's creating massive dis-ease mentally, physically, spiritually, etherically, emotionally. There's so much dis-ease going on. And we have to handle things out here before they begin to destroy the cells in here, and they can't remutate in a healthy turnover way because of so much incoming stuff along with chronological aging. Okay, so it's warp speed, chronological aging is happening. And so you will notice that a lot of people that do energy work and do things to self-nurture and self-care will look younger than their chronological age. It's because they're doing things to help themselves. All right? So, with that being said, I really want everyone to just stop, drop, sit, connect with that breath. Ask yourself in this very moment, what am I carrying that I don't need to carry, that I can resolve and dissolve, forgive, give love to, and not leave it hanging out there for somebody to run straight into. Just because you dissolved it doesn't need now, okay, now I'm going to leave right over there and walk away from it. So someone else go boom. And that's what happens with the energy. You boom. And right now we're booming in so many different categories that it's It's creating insanity. You know, it's creating insanity. And I'd like to be one less in the insanity. And if I can help you be one less in the insanity, my link is always in the description. Do no harm. Do nothing that you have to create regret and redoing for. So you take the moment. Each moment I walk and step forward, I will breathe in and out and emanate love. And I will listen with different ears. I will see with different eyes. I will smell with a different nose. I will speak with a different voice. I will connect with my heart in a higher heart way. My body will be walking and responding in a different way, a different language. So you're learning different languages of communication through tuning in and doing no harm. Just breathe with me on that. Oh, yes. Just breathe with me on this. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Help me share this information with others as I share it with you. Much love, much love.